Hello everyone, I am back with another video featuring the Minecraft server, the Shardlands. Today I want to delve into the various philosophies of the world, the peasants' opinions on their golden-crusted rulers, and lastly, check on the progress of our great nations. Yeah, no, I did all that. First of all, we have the great religion of Finlay, Dragonism. Long ago, between Muspelheim and Niflheim, a blazing hot and freezing cold place, a block of ice floated towards Muspelheim from Niflheim in the great void Ginnungagap. From the ice formed a being called the All-Dragon, containing 5 souls. The All-Dragon floated for a century in Ginnungagap, before splitting itself into 5 to appoint new dragons to create the universe. The Dragon of Fire was appointed king. The All-Dragon proceeded to split into the remaining Water, Thunder, Earth, and Blood Dragons. The Earth Dragon created the mountains, the Water Dragon spawned the rivers, the Thunder Dragon dispersed light, the Blood Dragon conjured life, and the Fire Dragon protected all of these creations with the heat of the sun. After a few eons, this land split into pieces, creating the Shardlands, where the life created splitted into their own factions: Alvaron, Viridis, Salterra, and Venaflame. Now we move on to Finlay's religion of Caterpillarism. In the beginning, there was light. It was beautiful. There was a tree, its branches spanning over the cold and wizened earth. One branch fell, and with it, a pod of seed, and with it, a hairy caterpillar. The caterpillar, blessed with seed, feasted until all was gone. The caterpillar passed the seed. From the wounded husk, life soaked into the once barren earth. Man was free, born from shell. Man was beautiful. A truly poetic and thoughtful creation story. But now we move on to the citizen interviews to see what they think about the Shardlands. First, we have a man who's been hard at work in Salterra, but albeit his work has gone without praise. It's Thomas. How do you feel about your leader?
I feel that the Amethyst Wizard he's pretty chill. He lets me do all of the work. All of it.
What is your role in your country?
Building infrastructure, I would say. Mainly work with the villagers, digging holes, and mob farms. That's about everything.
What do you think of other countries?
This is a good one. Sand Munchers to the south. They can take their rat and keep it. I'm fine, thanks, pal. The dragon people, you're pretty chill, honestly. Zero contact with Viridis apart from an immigrant coming to our lands. But he seemed alright. The sand people, camel people, whatever you want to call them, I feel that their religion could cause problems. Not because I'm against their religion, it's because I'm against how they run it. Only one person is able to contact him. Like, that just seems like a dictatorship, if I've ever seen one.
Do you have a belief?
Caterpillars. Big, hairy ones.
Very nice. Now, next question. If you could change your country, what would you change?
I don't know, I'd probably change... I don't know, honestly. Maybe I would give myself some better role. Give myself a cooler title.
Wait.
I forgot what it's like.
What's cooler than Vice President of Domestic Affairs?
Probably just not Vice President of Domestic Affairs. Maybe President of Domestic Affairs would be a little bit nicer. Maybe Vice President of Defense or something, I don't know. Minister for Defense.
All sounds like some silly yap to me. Anyway, Now we have another man from Salterra. Some like to slander his height, while others live in constant fear of his green beast. It's William. How do you feel about your leader?
Oh, Finlay. I mean, he's our hairiness, but he's really tempted to change his leadership title to BJ Khaled, which, in my opinion, bloody brilliant. I love it.
What is your role in your country?
My role, I think, I'd say head slave. I do a lot of this, a lot of that. Well, not much of this, not much of that compared to Thomas,
Yeah,
but
I didn't know what to expect from a fascist, to be fair.
yeah, I'd just say slave, really.
Not vice president
So
of
occasionally
domestic
sex
affairs.
slave.
Oh, oh. What do you think of other countries?
Other countries, honestly, I like most of them, except those sand munchers. Bloody sand munchers. Sun God Ra this, Sun God Ra that. Honestly, sick of them.
Similar beliefs to your leader, I take it.
Yep, that's why we get along so
Oh,
well. Like a
well,
house on fire.
do you have a belief?
I think on the afterlife, I think what happens is to your opinion. I think if you think there's reincarnation, you might get reincarnated. If you think there's heaven and hell, you might go to heaven and hell. I don't know.
Okay, so you're basically the most optimistic belief ever.
Yes.
Alright, I mean, fair enough, stay open, stay open. Anyway,
Except for those sand munchers, they go to hell.
right. If you could change your country, what would you change?
Well, I'd change the name and the flag because
Mm-hmm.
I think we were going to be centered around our religion of caterpillars,
Yeah.
but then that took a shift, and now we're Celtara rather than Caterpillar, I think it was,
Yeah.
which, in my opinion, is not as good a name. I prefer the caterpillar themes.
Yeah, I thought the capital was quite funny. I was sad when that disappeared.
I don't know why everyone's got to be so serious. Like,
Yeah.
just pees me out.
A man with very strong opinions, it seems. Next, we have one of Venaflame's top dogs, a good boy all round and an expert of claiming buildings rather than building them. It's Alec. How do you feel about your leader?
My leader is okay. He's very tyrannical though, and he makes me work, and I'm very scared. But I'm just joking. Zach's a pretty cool guy. He lets me do what I like most of the time. But yeah, that's about it.
What is your role in your country?
I am a blood dragon. Now I don't exactly know what that means, but it sounds pretty cool, so I chose it. I usually help build the Great Hall, and I trade with villagers. I don't do much else.
What do you think of other countries?
Other countries, I think they're pretty cool. There's a couple of people in a certain country who are a bit religious, but I'm quite tolerant, so I don't mind too much. Then there's the caterpillar guys. They like the big hairy shaft. And there's also Viridis. I don't know what they do. They're not really around much.
Do you have a belief?
Dragons. I like dragons.
If you could change your country, what would you change?
I would change nothing because everything is perfect. And I'm not being held at gunpoint to say these things. I'm totally unbiased.
He did in fact not have a gun to his head during any of that, making that clear anyway. Moving on, we have a man who is away of the sand, constructing countless pillars and walls for the country of Alvaron. Perhaps bad at counting. It's Ben. How do you feel about your leader?
Well, the Sultan, who's my leader, he's a very religious man, you know. He always talks about the sun god Ra. He's always open to talk about stuff, you know. It's good to see that. I think he's a good leader, all in all.
What is your role in your country?
Secretary of Defense. So I'm in charge of the managing the forts of our country. Any wars that may happen, I will be in charge of preparing, getting our alliances.
What do you think of other countries?
Well, the Finlay's country is who's our neighbor who we share a border with.
Yeah.
They've said a few words that may upset ours, like one of the people, Brexit Will, if you like to call him that. He calls us, I quote him, sand munchers or sand snorters. With the other countries, the country of Vina Flame, we're in good terms with them. And the other country, Fred's country, we're on good terms with them as well. Finley's country's a bit of a pest.
Do you have a
Alright.
belief?
Oh, I mean, like I said before, I followed the sun god Ra. I'm not as heavy on religion, obviously, like I said before, but you know, I take part in our religion, and I do believe in the sun god Ra. He's our follower. Yeah, sun god Ra.
If you could change your country, what would you change?
I mean, I really like our country. Like, there's not much I can think about the change. I mean, maybe some more water. I mean, we're surrounded by water, actually.
A truly prosperous country. But now, I interrupt this video to give us a little insight on this week's UN meeting.
3 sets of iron armor.
Yeah.
Is that all that you gave
it was
him,
helpful.
Charlie?
It was helpful.
Yeah, and 2 stacks of seeds.
Giving him like a few diamonds or something, Charlie?
Well,
That's what
that-
I was
that-
gonna do at least. I was gonna give him some like diamonds or something like that. Like,
Yeah, but we need our
Well,
diamonds.
I mean, I'm not
you can
trying
go
to,
for
point out some errors in your system, Fred. But I feel like it's probably easier to be communist or, one of those kind of political ideologies, or fascist at this point in the server, especially. How did you manage to, to convert Fred, Charlie? By the way, what was your strategy?
I didn't say anything. He did it on his own
He just
intuition.
volunteered. Okay.
About we're not having one nether portal anymore in the middle. Each country will be allowed one nether portal each.
Okay, cool. I'll make
So-
that soon.
Me and Zach are. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're thinking of joining a military alliance together, our two
Oh, yeah.
nations.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yes.
I did want to bring this up, and I think it's a bad idea to make a military alliance. Basically, because if me and Finn have a military alliance, it's basically like we're expecting Charlie to do something. Because, with no offense, we're not worried about Viridus attacking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because like, if you're making a military alliance, you're expecting war, and that's just gonna that might just set the wrong tensions.
Zach, was it you or Finlay that recommended the military alliance?
It was Finlay.
Okay. So Finlay, why did you think it was a good idea to form one?
As I said, I was a little bit anxious at that period of time. I mean, I wasn't exactly
Right.
suggesting there was going to be war soon.
You say period of
It's
time
ju-
like it wasn't last night.
Last
Wait,
night,
you said
I
last
was
night?
last night
Okay,
I was
interesting.
very.
I'm just saying, there's nothing in your country I want.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Charlie's happy just rolling around in his little litter box, and that's fine.
Right, okay, so this is like where he gets he's an incredibly racist to me. If we slander you, it's because you slandered us first.
And Ra killed my horse.
We all know that was server lag.
Ra vaporized my horse in front of me.
I think server lag is the embodiment of Ra.
Danny
Might
Woodbury took
be.
credit for Ra doing that, so if anything, you should take that up with him. But as far as I know, Ra seems to just kill my horses and
None of my
Because you called,
deities were
because you
mean-
called it
responsible.
Holy
be
Land.
mean to my
a
religion.
little
Perhaps if you didn't want to be attacked by Charlie, maybe you could have made a military alliance with him.
That
Yeah, you
is
never
a good
came to
point,
me.
but
You never
as
came to me.
I didn't come to you now.
You're kind of a dictatorial fascist prick at the moment. So I
You
think
can look at the
really,
bloody name of what do you mean? It says that on the front cover of my country. I wasn't trying to hide that from the start, Fred. So don't be all bloody high and mighty in your little fucking
Oh,
gulag
God.
that you seem to fucking live in.
yeah,
It's great
all you're doing so
content,
far,
but-
Finlay, is making me more and more want to blow you up.
That's a pretty bold statement, Fred.
Well, I'll be blowing Finlay up tonight.
Okay, well, me and Zach are going to blow each other, but apart from that, that's a very bold statement that you just made, Fred, to be honest with you.
It was a hyperbole.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we may have witnessed one of the biggest crash outs of the century, but we must move on. Without further ado, I have a very special news report hosted by Will.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. This is News with Will at 12. Today, we're checking up on the progress of each of the countries. It's been a bit slow for some, not mentioning names, Viridus. But, you know, some have made quite large amounts of progress, which we greatly appreciate. Alvaron, people in the desert, great country. They've been producing a large, grand sand wall. Not sure what it's for yet. Not been informed. We will find out later. South Terra, big archway. This is for the entry to the gaff. The gaff, you know. They've also made a very, very efficient super smelter, which is good for getting the stone and the materials needed for the archway. And Venaflame, they've put in great progress into building a great hall. It's a very deep hall under the mountains. And rather than walls, they're surrounded by mountains, using their surroundings to their advantage. Honestly, we're in the early stages, ladies and gents. There's not much more that's gone on. I'll keep you keep you informed even about further developments. Thank you very much for listening.
That was a beautiful report from Will Hudson. Now, I do want to know if you want him back. He is a little strange, and albeit he may have some strong opinions, but I won't lie, on the news set, he really does give a good speech. Anyway, this is the end of the video.